Guys, so we're going to be looking at Ethos and the Truth is Always More Heroic Than Hype. This is part 3, video 3. You can see Jessica Lynch has listed lots of credibility, her injuries mostly that happened to her. And so we pick up right after all that credibility on April 1st. And so all of those injuries and trauma from earlier have caused us to see, and she's even echoed in her character, that she's very fearful. She's very afraid. So this fear was maybe enhanced due to the injury and trauma experienced while in Iraq, right? Her service in Iraq. And then she explains, she kind of shares some values. A soldier came into the room. He tore the American flag from his uniform and handed it to me and told me, "We're American soldiers and we can take you home." And I looked at him and said, "Yes, I'm an American soldier too." So it kind of is a sweet connection. And we see this as a sweet connection, maybe because we too value and respect the American flag. And, growing up, I would think, shoot, hearing and reading Jessica's speech, I am almost put into these circumstances. I'm almost there with her as she was hit by this rocket grenade and then in the hospital mourning the death of her best friend and roommate, Lori. All this, and then kind of putting me right in there. Almost like I'm hearing this language, this diction from this other American soldier. "We are American soldiers, and we are here to take you home." And I looked at him and I said, "Yes, I'm American too." It really shows that value, that patriotism, right? And even this author or audience member feels that too. So I feel kind of warm and fuzzy as I read that portion. So I feel like that's very effective. She continues to kind of share her character, specifically in parallel structure. When I remember those difficult days, I remember the fear. I remember the strength. I remember that hand of the fellow American soldier reassuring me I was going to be okay. So stating that I remember and then listing some things, fear, strength, the hand of the reassuring American soldier, lets us feel, that she is very similar to maybe us. I feel like that's something I would feel as an audience member. I would feel fear and trauma. I would feel that strength of carry on, and the hand, kind of showing me that it's going to be okay. So it's reassurance, right? Then she gets home to when she gets home to West Virginia. She says it was under siege by media, all reporting the story of the little girl Rambo from the hills of West Virginia who went down fighting. Likely, this is trying to paint the story of a hero, of a girl who went down fighting. So she was fighting. She was doing what's good for a U.S. soldier in Iraq, which was at the time our enemy. So she's fighting the enemy, which was good, and she probably was painted out to be a hero. She's not directly saying it, maybe because it counters what she believes is the truth. Because she then immediately says, to her character, it was not true. So she's discrediting the heroicism that the media painted of her. Why? Well, she kind of goes back to the values. She says, if the stories about me helped inspire troops and rally a nation, maybe it did some good. So, okay, yeah, we do love a good hero story. We in the United States especially love a good hero story, especially if it's an American hero story. So she's seeing that this spin could be good, but back to her character. However, so there's a shift. I'm still confused as to why they would choose to lie and make me out to be some legend when the real heroes of my fellow soldiers that day were legendary. People like Lori Paistwa, right? That was her roommate and best friend at the time. First Sergeant Dowdy, who picked up fellow soldiers in harm's way, or people like Patrick Miller or Sergeant Donald Walters, who actually did fight until the very end. So she's being very critical of the media and confused with them and their lie. Maybe, I don't know if it was the media's fault, but it was the media spinning it. And so that spin Lynch is taking as a lie, and it's making Lynch the hero, maybe because she's alive, and not the 11 who are dead. So the ones she sees that are the true heroes are those who have passed. Then she continues, the bottom line is that American people are determining their own heroes, and that these ideals don't need to be elaborate lies, like how the media was pointing it out to be. My brother Greg, who continues to serve his country today, or excuse me, my hero is my brother. My hero is my friend, right? And then she continues, who died in Iraq, but set an example for a generation of Hopi and Native American women and little girls everywhere about the contributions just one soldier can make. My hero is, and then kind of goes to the values, every American who says, my country needs me, and answers that call to fight. Ooh, even Miss Brown right now is getting chills from reading that. She really knows her audience and knows that every American loves those hero stories. Then she continues to show her character to the very end. I had good fortune and an opportunity to come up and tell the truth, meaning the truth is that she's not a hero. And so it kind of goes, the truth of war is not always easy. The truth is always more heroic than the hype. And that's the title. Thank you. So when thinking, oops, and this is not an editorial, this is, an actual speech. What is the purpose of this speech? Think about, who is she talking to? What is the message? Who is the audience? And how would you describe her tone? So these questions will need to be answered for today. Hope that made sense, and I'll catch you guys on the flippy flop.